In the exhilarating world of boxing, dodging is a skill that distinguishes the greats from the rest. Dodging punches is not merely about defense. It's an art form that showcases a fighter's reflexes, strategy, and anticipation. The best dodgers in boxing make avoiding punches seem effortless, turning defensive moves into opportunities to counterattack with precision. Icons like Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Muhammad Ali, and Mike Tyson have elevated the craft of dodging to legendary levels. These athletes possess an uncanny ability to read opponents, employ intricate footwork, and utilize innovative techniques to evade even the fiercest of blows. Beyond avoiding damage, their defensive mastery often sets the stage for their most devastating offenses. In this captivating exploration, we'll dive into the unique dodging styles of these boxing legends, uncovering how their movements contributed to their iconic careers and changed the sport forever. Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez's defensive style is a mesmerizing blend of impeccable head movement and rapid counterpunching. His ability to anticipate punches allows him to slip or roll under attacks with precision, often making his opponents miss by mere inches. Against opponents like Gennady Golovkin and Callum Smith, Canelo showcased his mastery of upper body movement, evading power shots while positioning himself to deliver lethal counters. This level of defensive prowess is rooted in his uncanny ability to analyze his opponents in real time, making him one of the sport's most calculated fighters. Canelo's defense is further enhanced by his ability to stand close to his adversaries without taking significant damage, further frustrating their attempts to land clean shots. This unique blend of defensive skills has earned Canelo widespread recognition as one of the finest defensive boxers of his era, captivating audiences with his ability to slip and counter with such poise and precision. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. revolutionized boxing with his signature shoulder roll defense, a technique where he angles his body and uses his shoulder to deflect punches, minimizing damage while keeping him ready for counters. His fights against Manny Pacquiao and Oscar de la Hoya exemplified this style, as he frustrated opponents with his ability to evade strikes and return fire. Mayweather's defense is bolstered by his quick reflexes, precise footwork, and strategic mind, allowing him not only to avoid punches but also to force opponents to tire from repeated missed attempts. This defensive genius, which transformed boxing and inspired a generation of fighters, is a testament to Mayweather's undefeated record, as he masterfully employed his unique defensive tactics to outmaneuver and outclass his opponents, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali's defensive strategy was as innovative as his personality, with his rope-a-dope technique, famously used against George Foreman, involving leaning against the ropes to absorb minimal damage while conserving energy. Ali's lightning-fast footwork and ability to predict punches were other hallmarks of his defense, as he danced around opponents, making it nearly impossible to land clean shots. However, Ali's defensive tactics were not just about avoiding harm. They were psychological weapons that frustrated and disarmed his rivals, allowing him to dominate in the ring. By employing these innovative defensive maneuvers, combined with his unparalleled charisma and showmanship, Ali captivated audiences with his defensive artistry, cementing his status as a true legend of the sport. His defensive mastery, which included the strategic use of the ropes and his uncanny ability to read and evade his opponent's attacks, played a crucial role in his success and cemented his place as one of the most iconic and influential boxers of all time. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, known for his devastating power, was also a defensive master thanks to his peekaboo style, a technique taught by his trainer Cus D'Amato that involved a high guard and constant head movement to dodge punches. Tyson's low center of gravity and explosive speed allowed him to close gaps quickly while avoiding strikes, as evidenced in his fights against Trevor Berbick and Larry Holmes, where he showcased his ability to slip punches and counter with crushing force. Tyson's defensive skills not only protected him, but also set the stage for his ferocious knockouts, making him one of the most feared fighters in history and leaving audiences in awe of his defensive mastery. By seamlessly integrating his defensive prowess with his overwhelming offensive capabilities, Tyson established himself as a true icon of the sport, captivating fans with his unique blend of power, speed, and technical brilliance. Pernell Whitaker. Pernell "Sweet Pea" Whitaker was a true defensive maestro, his elusive moves leaving opponents utterly bewildered in the ring. His ability to slip, duck, and weave through an onslaught of punches was simply unparalleled, earning him a well-deserved reputation as one of boxing's most untouchable fighters. Watching Whitaker in action, particularly in his fights against the likes of Julio Cesar Chavez and Oscar de la Hoya, was akin to witnessing a defensive artistry that redefined the very essence of the sweet science. His head movement and precise, lightning-fast footwork made him a ghost in the ring, nearly impossible for his adversaries to land a clean shot on. Whitaker's defensive brilliance was a sight to behold, a true spectacle that captivated audiences and solidified his legacy as a defensive genius who had single-handedly pushed the boundaries of what was possible in the defensive realm of boxing. He didn't just hit and not get hit. He elevated that concept to a level of pure, unadulterated mastery, cementing his place as one of the greatest defensive fighters to ever step into the squared circle. James Toney. James Toney's defense relied on his exceptional ability to roll with punches and counter with precision. Known for his slick movement and ring IQ that often left opponents swinging at air, Toney's fights against Iron Barkley and Vasily Girov showcased his mastery of subtle head movements and shoulder rolls, which allowed him to evade attacks with effortless ease. However, Toney's defensive prowess was not merely about avoiding punches. It was about staying in range to capitalize on openings and punish his opponents with devastating counters. This seamless blend of defense and counter-punching made him one of the smartest and most effective defensive boxers of his era, captivating audiences with his defensive artistry and leaving his rivals frustrated and bewildered in the ring. Toney's defensive mastery, combined with his tactical intelligence and lightning-fast reflexes, cemented his legacy as a true master of the sweet science. Wilfred Benitez. Wilfred Benitez was aptly nicknamed the Radar for his extraordinary defensive reflexes, showcasing a defensive style that relied on anticipation and split-second reactions, even at the young age of just 17, when he became the youngest world champion in boxing history. Benitez's ability to slip punches and counter with precision was on full display in his fights against the likes of Roberto Duran and Thomas Hearns, where his defensive brilliance often made it look like he could predict his opponent's every move. This extraordinary defensive prowess not only frustrated his rivals, but also cemented Benitez's place among boxing's defensive greats, leaving a lasting impact on the sport and captivating audiences with his uncanny ability to evade and punish his opponents. Wilfred Benitez's defensive mastery, combined with his tactical acumen and lightning-fast reactions, solidified his legacy as one of the most skilled and elusive fighters to ever step into the ring. Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard combined defensive finesse with crowd-pleasing showmanship, his ability to dodge punches and counter with dazzling combinations making him a fan favorite. Leonard's fights against the likes of Marvin Hagler and Thomas Hearns showcased his defensive adaptability, as he seamlessly blended head movement, footwork, and impeccable timing to evade attacks and keep his opponents off balance. Importantly, Leonard's defensive prowess wasn't just about survival. It was a strategic weapon that allowed him to control the flow of fights and leave his rivals bewildered. His defense was as much about calculated tactics as it was about sheer style and flair, earning him a legacy as one of boxing's most complete and captivating fighters. With his defensive mastery complementing his offensive skills, Sugar Ray Leonard cemented his place as a true icon of the sport, delighting audiences with his defensive artistry and establishing himself as one of the most well-rounded champions in boxing history. Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr.'s defensive brilliance stemmed from his unparalleled reflexes and agility, his unorthodox style characterized by hands-down defense and lightning-fast counters that consistently confused and overwhelmed his opponents. In fights against the likes of James Toney and Bernard Hopkins, Jones Jr. demonstrated how his otherworldly reflexes allowed him to avoid punches that seemed nearly impossible to dodge, captivating audiences with his showboating antics, such as dodging attacks with his hands casually placed behind his back. This unique approach to defense, blending supreme confidence, audacious showmanship, and lightning-fast reactions, made Jones Jr. a true standout in the sport and a nightmare for his adversaries to face. His defensive mastery, combined with his offensive firepower, cemented his legacy as one of the most well-rounded and captivating champions in boxing history, leaving fans in awe of his defensive prowess and the sheer brilliance of his ring craft. Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is a modern-day defensive specialist whose slick movement and keen ring IQ make him a tough puzzle for opponents to solve, as evidenced in his fight against David Lemieux, where he showcased his exceptional ability to make his foes miss while landing sharp, punishing counters. Saunders' defensive approach relies heavily on his precise footwork and masterful control of distance, often frustrating his adversaries into making critical mistakes that he is then able to capitalize on. His style is a testament to the enduring importance of defense in the modern era of boxing, proving that a combination of slick movement and strategic thinking can effectively neutralize even the most aggressive and hard-hitting fighters. By captivating audiences with his defensive mastery, Saunders has not only found success in the ring, but has also managed to elevate the art of defensive boxing, inspiring a new generation of fighters to hone their craft and utilize defense as a potent weapon. The greatest boxers have elevated defense to an art form, combining skill, strategy, and showmanship to captivate audiences. Their legacies inspire new generations to push the boundaries of the sweet science. Like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the defensive mastery that defines boxing's legends.